Huh?
Two hours later.
Alright, this is a kind of a long overdue video, and I maybe should have dropped this when the new selection pack came, because Mannadium did get a buff from the selection pack Nightmare Rivals, but I wanted to actually test it out and play this deck, and you know, eventually that led to me trying to get the Master 1 again with this deck, so unfortunately that took a little bit of time, so this is a bit of a late video, a bit of overdue, but yeah, Mannadium did get support from the reselection pack in Visa Samsara. And what did this change? Well, first of all, if you are new to Mannadium, I did have another video about Mannadium that goes over the cards in a bit more detail than I will for this video, and it has some 1 card and 2 card combo tutorials for you to look at. So if you're completely new, you can go check that video out just to get the basics down. But Visa Samsara. So Visa Samsara is a fantastic card for Mannadium. It fulfills every niche you would want from a monster in this deck. It is a level 4 monster with a 1521 stat line, which is perfect. The 1521 stat line synergizes with Reamheart. You can use Reamheart to summon itself by popping Visa Samsara if for whatever reason you want to do that. It also counts as that stat line in the grave, so you can banish it for Vicious Ashroud, but also Visa Samsara always counts as a Visa Starfrost, whether it's on the field or in the grave. So about Vicious Ashroud is that Visa Samsara can be either material for Vicious Ashroud. You can use Samsara as the monster with 1500 or 1500 attack and 21 defense, or you can use Vicious Ashroud as the Visa you can use Visa Samsara as the Visa Starfrost material for Vicious Ashroud. So either way, this got you covered on either material. Also, because it's the fact that it is Visa's Starfrost, it means you can special summon Mannadium Meek whenever. There's a common complaint about Mannadium in that if you control Calarium and there's a tuner engraved, for example, an Ash Blossom that you had to negate Maxi with, your monsters would gain attack points. And when they gain attack points, they're no longer 1500 attack and 2100 defense, which means you can't summon Meek. Well, that's not a problem with Visa Samsara, because it's always Visa Starfrost, and because of that, you can always summon Meek when you have a Samsara. Also, it is a tuner and a non-tuner. You can, if you would single summon with using Visa Samsara, you could treat this as a non-tuner, which is kind of broken, I guess. It means you can go into basically everything in single thing in the extra deck with this. You know, if you have a Visa Samsara and a Starfrost, you can go into any level 10 synchro, even though these are both tuners. If you have a Samsara plus a Vicious Ashroud, you can go into a Crimson Dragon. That Crimson Dragon is how you get Dissipator out. And these level 4 monsters, they can't go into Crimson Dragon because they're not tuners. So these two with Vicious Ashroud doesn't have that versatility, whereas Samsara plus Ashroud still gives you the option to go into Crimson Dragon, into Dissipator. And finally, maybe I should get to the actual effect of this card, is that you can shuffle Visa's monsters that are in your grave or banished, and then shovel them into the deck and special summon this. So it's a free extender, essentially, as well, at worst. And you can shuffle back, most of the time you shuffle back Amritara, because Amritara is it doesn't count as a Visa Starfrost in the grave, whereas Visa Starfrost obviously it does count as a Visa Starfrost in the grave. Who would have thought of that? So this doesn't really have much use in the grave, so you can just shuffle this back, and then you get a Samsara as a free special summon. Free special summon level 4 that you can basically do anything you want with this. And I know I love this card. I love drawing this card all the time. The thing is though that this card is not searchable in basically any way in this deck. It doesn't count as Visa Starfrost while in the deck, you know, for ruling reasons, but because of that, you can't search this with any of the field spells. All these field spells have the option to search of Visa Starfrost, but they can't search Visa Samsara, unfortunately. Also, it is a fairy, it is not a warrior, so unfortunately you can't search it with Rhoda. And I love drawing Visa Samsara. Every hand I have this card, I feel it's better, but ultimately because it's just not a searchable card, you're not going to see this every game, so it's maybe is not the most impactful card just because you don't hard draw into it, but when you do, it's definitely a quality card. And ideally, in an ideal world, I would run 3 Visa Samsara. Now, fortunately, we don't live in an ideal world. We're playing Master Duel, and Master Duel has this card called Maxi Legal, and because of that, we have to run max copies of the cards that out Maxi, and because of that, there's just space issues. We're already over 42 cards, which it's probably you can cut this down to 40. I'll go over what you can cut to get this to 40, but if you want to run 3 Visa Samsara, there's most likely you're gonna have to go over 40 anyways. So it's unfortunately we have to run the Maxi package, and people were talking to me about what if we just cut Maxi from the deck, right? You don't need Maxi to go second. This deck can play into boards as is. Well, that may be true, but Maxi is so broken that going second that I don't even care if it resolves. Like even if Maxi doesn't resolve, it's a good situation for you. Because, okay, so you activate Maxi going second, right? And ideally it resolves, it skips your turn. If it doesn't resolve, let's say they use a Call by the Grave on the Maxi. Well, that's just, every time my Maxi gets called by the Grave, I feel so happy. Because that means I don't have to deal with a Maxi on my turn, and that also means I don't have to deal with a Call by the Grave on my turn either, which means my Meeks and my Visa Starfrost are safe from when I combo with them, because I don't have to worry about them getting called by either. So even if when my Maxi doesn't resolve and it gets called by it, it's still telling me that I don't have to worry about 2 pieces of interruption that my opponent has, or that my opponent could have. So yeah, man, I don't want to turn this into Maxi rant, so we're gonna move on from that. So the Mannadium cards and the engine ratios are mostly just standard by now. 3 Meek, 3 Reinhardt. You got 2 Visa Starfrost. Could run 3 if there was more room, but we don't have it. And the 2 Samsara and the 2 Reinhardt. I was playing 3 before we had Visa Samsara, but now space issues, I cut down Reinhardt to 2, and you have to run at least 2. You can run 3 if you want, but you just need 2 minimum, and it's great. Even if you draw this and you activate its effect early, it's fine. You can still special summon it later, since both its special summon effect and its add effect are 2 separate once per turn effects, so it doesn't affect your combos if you draw this. But yeah, you have more level 4 starters now too, so it's not imperative that you see Reinhardt as much, even though it's still nice to draw multiple combinations of level 4s, because then you can like summon Reinhardt, and then if they choose to imperm you, you can just Reinhardt dodge the imperm too. It lets you play through infinite impermanence and stuff like that. And the 1 Rhoda, obviously the 2 arrival, you need to run 2 arrivals. Just so if you run Arrival at 1, it becomes a brick if you draw into it. But if you draw 2, but if you play 2 Arrival, even if you draw an Arrival, you can still search a second Arrival, and then it's just a free extender. These aren't once per turn, so they're just not once per turn monster reborns. 1 Imaginings, not mandatory really, especially since you have Samsara now fulfilling the role of a level 4 tuner if you don't have Meek access. But I mean, it's nice to have if you have all your common pieces already, or if you draw multiple balls in hand. It can put one of the meeks back, and then Pot of Greed. Like who doesn't like Pot of Greed, right? Obsession 2 is the standard ratio. It gets Calarium. It pops meek. It's part of the best 2-card combos. Well, yeah, it's also a pretty good send-off droplet, and that you can just use it as an extender if you don't want to pot your monster too. Strike Phobia adds Reinhardt and Visas. You've got to run 2. 1 for most combos, you search 1 during your turn for the combo, and then you search 1 as a follow-up because Lightheart searches this, and Lightheart's adding Right Phobia is not a once per turn. For Rhino, just adds Visa Starfrost. You search this off of Amritara in lines where you already used Calarium, so you need to search a different field spell that adds Visa Starfrost, so that's why we run the Purple Rhino. Rhino 3 Calarium, it's the best field spell unless you have to Ash and Maxi, then it turns into the worst field spell sometimes because of the attack modifications, but yeah, this adds these two plus Visa Starfrost, the 2 best monsters in your deck. And then 1 Reframing as the counter trap. And for the non-engine, okay, so the non-engine is where you might have some questions. So Droplet and Triple Tactics they're less questionable. This deck is very good at playing into boards, so I'm going with a board breaker approach here. Not saying you can't run hand traps. You can definitely just run this as a hand trap build and replace the tactics and droplets with just more hand traps. I just, personally, I already playing like 5 different decks that run 15 plus hand traps. I kind of want to try something different. So we're playing a board breaker approach, and you draw either of these 2 into Snake Eyes, it's absolutely devastating. It's like the game is so in your favor if you draw either of these against all the mid boards that Snake Eyes players are playing. And then Droplet, additionally, it can act as a somewhat combo piece. You can get Visas and Obsessions, or maybe even extra copies of your level 4 monsters into the grave to fuel your Samsara, or like get Obsessions in the grave to fuel your level 4 monster hand as special summons. And it also dodges target negation such as Baylor and Imperm 2. Generally really nice. It also the attack modification, really relevant when you're playing Appaloosa. Countless times people will think, oh, you could run over Appaloosa, but no, you actually just waste your battle phase and you instantly lose the game if you try to do that into a droplet. So cool. And droplet sends are always free, by the way, because you have 6 field spells that remain on the field after they search. So yeah, droplet's really nice. Tactics obviously really broken. You take an Appaloosa, boom, you go first. You draw tactics. And your opponent doesn't have Max C, they auto lose. If they have Max C, but you have an Alta Max C plus tactics, oh man, they just lose even harder. And yeah, Red Reboot. So I'll get to explain Red Reboot. You're probably looking at Red Reboot and you're probably wondering why I'm running specifically Red Reboot. So the logic with Red Reboot is, I think trap decks are somewhat getting more popular now. Stuff like Stun and Lab, and especially Rescue Ace. Rescue Ace is a backdoor deck. Let's not get it twisted. Their 2 main forms of interruption are their Contain and the other Rescue Ace trap, and Red Reboot is good against that. Now that's not the only reason I'm running Red Reboot, because if I wanted to run a card for trap decks, I wouldn't play Red Reboot. I think I would just play Lightning Storm or Duster, and frankly, this deck doesn't need help playing against trap decks. This deck has such a good matchup against trap decks already. Like, I feel like Labrynth is already a 70-30 matchup for Mannadium as is, and like I've played a lot of Labrynth, and I do win most of my games against Labrynth, going first or second, getting max seed or not. It doesn't matter. I just end up just stomping Lab, as you'll see in the replays too. But this Red Reboot theoretically has an application for going first that the other spell and trap removals, such as Lightning Storm, such as a Duster, such as a Cosmic, don't have. And that you can use Red Reboot on Imperm going first. And what do I mean by this? So in every single one of your combos, you ultimately end up with at least a Baronne. Sometimes you end up with a Reichphobia on the field. And you usually end on an Appaloosa as well. So on the way you're doing your combo, right, you can red reboot their imperm, and they set whatever trap from their deck, and then while you're doing your combo, you can Baron pop one of their back row, and then before you make Appaloosa, you first turn your Cross Sheep and another monster into a Nightmare Unicorn. Then Nightmare Unicorn, you spin the other back row, and then you link the Unicorn and your last material into an Appaloosa. So at the cost of one material on Appaloosa, you get to use Red Reboot as anti-imperm as well, which is, I think that would be a very funny application if I ever got it off. Unfortunately, I never used Red Reboot going first, so that theory went out the window. And I would say, optimally, you should probably not run Red Reboot, because you don't really need the help against the trap decks, and the dream of using Red Reboot as an anti-hand trap card going first. I never even did that anyway, so like really that was just me trying to meme, and like all meme ideas that I have in deck building, they never turn out. So yeah, this is what a clean 40 card build will look like. If you have Red Reboot and you wanna like troll your opponents and just terrorize your trap deck, your trap deck opponents who are already not favoring the matchup, go ahead. But yeah. And for the extra deck, most of this is standard, so double Astrolabe, Trisukta, Amritara, Baron, Changing, the Dispater, Crimson Dragon, 2 Lightheart, Cross Sheep. All of these are staple. Okay, and Appaloosa, plus Appaloosa. All of these cards are staple. The only flex spots are these 3. Nightmare Unicorn, Accel Talker, and Chaos Angel. Okay, so these 2, I will probably never cut these 2 from Mannadium, just because they help going second so much. The fact that you have a Unicorn and Accel Talker access means you can pop 5 monsters on your turn. You can pop an entire field of monsters going second and kill them with a 1-card combo, which is ridiculous. And Accel being 5300 is so ignorant, because you make level 10 synchros, in your sleep. So you make a Baron, and then you make a Accel Talker that's literally, even if you get interrupted, you can still end on Baron plus Accel. And Baron plus Accel is literally just game popping 3 monsters. Did I say 3? Sorry, I meant popping like 4 monsters, because you also, the Astrolabe pops and you get the Unicorn spin. So it just makes going second so much better, and it makes OTKing so trivially easy that I would just never, especially when I'm running Boardbreakers. Yeah, Accel and Unicorn are staying in this deck. The one flex pop is Chaos Angel. So this was dark before, and honestly it probably should have been dark, because Chaos Angel literally doesn't. I literally never summoned this once. It was like, okay, so I was thinking Samsara is another level 4, and it helps make Chaos Angel, I suppose, even though it's not the ideal attribute for making it, since you don't usually make this light dark. But it's just never go into, like, you don't need to go into this. You go into Baron, and you always go into Baron and Chang. These are way better to go into than Chaos Angel. Okay, so there was just no use case for me ever going to Chaos Angel where it would have been ideal. So I was basically playing a 14 card extra deck. This once SP Little Knight comes, this is gonna be an SP Little Knight. Okay, so don't play Chaos Angel. There's another card people might be wondering. I explained in the other video, but Accel, Stardust. So yeah, Accel Stardust is probably better than Chaos Angel. I'll say that. Although I will say that if you know how to play Mannadium and you know how to play the deck properly, you don't need Accel Stardust Synchro Dragon. Because we have Crimson Dragon now, you don't need this to go into Dispater. And in fact, most of your combo line do not go into Accel Stardust Dragon. This is basically just for weird, lines where your opponent hand traps you weirdly, or if you're like under a shifter and your hand's like really, really bad and you have all these search spells and no actual monsters in hand, then maybe you can do something out of Accel Stardust. And you can use this to help go into a Dispater under shifter. But I'm gonna be honest, when most times I get shifter, if my hand's not complete ass, I can make up a half board anyways, even without the help of Accel Synchro Stardust. I did keep track of how many times I actually missed Accel Stardust Synchro and how many times I actually would have wanted to go into it. during 2 seasons of Master rank with this deck, and I think there's only one game where I actually missed Accel Stardust that I would have wanted to go into it when I didn't have it. And I won that game anyway, so you know, it didn't really matter. But yeah, until SP Little Knight comes, if you want, you can cut the Chaos Lane for the Accel Synchro Stardust, because this card just literally, this is a waste of slot, a waste of space. Never made it once. And oh, I suppose another card I should go over that are somewhat common in Mannadium that I'm not running is the Kashtiras package. So obviously with space issues and stuff, with Visa Samsara, I've prioritized Visa Samsara over the Kashtiras monsters. So even if I were running these before, I would have cut these for the Visa Samsara anyways. But yeah, it's mainly because Kashtiras Fenner is limited. So it's like Scareclaw Kashtiras is a cool extender. It's nice to run. It's just that because it's Fenner is at 1, you're gonna draw Scareclaw Cash as much as you're gonna draw Fenner, which is like, you don't really want to draw this card. This is just a card that you would play if you could add it for free as an option, but I mean, hard drawing it's like the worst extender in your deck. So it's, yeah. And then Fenner is being that one, like, yeah, that sucks, unfortunately. So also, the ideal 2-card combo in your deck plays through Nibiru. It makes Baronne on the 5th summon. Obviously, if you start with Kashtiras Fenner, it makes you unable to play around Nibiru because you know, you have 1 extra summon from the Fenner. So that's kind of awkward when your hands are good. You don't really want to even summon Fenner because you don't want to, you know, play into a Nibiru that you didn't have to in the first place. Yeah, and going second, they're never going to actually let you get the search off. They're probably going to deal with the Fenner once it hits the field immediately, so it's not really an engine piece going second reliably. You're not going to be able to get the Kashtiras by summoning Fenner going second a lot of the time. And rates off, it's just, I wouldn't run this card anyways because unfortunately it modifies attack, and you know, the issue of modifying the attack is that it makes you unable to summon Meek. And well, you can't like summon Meek after and then use rates up, because then you control a monster. Then there's no point searching the Fenner in the first place. You know, what was the point of that? So yeah, I wouldn't run this anyways because of that, the 1-1 ratio, and then, you know, awkward stuff like that. If you somehow find space, you could fit these 2 in, but obviously, as you can already see, I don't have space, so that's why I cut these. But yeah, let's get into some gameplay with this deck. So there were a lot of games versus Snake Eyes, and most of them aren't memorable, but this one kind of encapsulates every element of a typical Snake Eyes game. So except this part, except the part where our opponent goes Illusion of Chaos into Magician Souls, dump Diabellstar, summon the Diabellstar anyways, get Original Symbol Spoil, send a Fluffal card to draw 2, Original Symbol Spoil, add Ash, and then, you know, draw another card. So now essentially went +2 out of a Wanted, very nice, and then Patchwork into Scythe. Okay, and then they do standard Snake Eyes time. Okay, so what do you think their end board is gonna be? Okay, let's fast forward. Okay, IP Masquerena. Okay, Promethean Princess. Bring that back. Bring these back. Bring these back. Blah 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 blah. Bring back that. Rescale IP Masquerena. Go into Ambler Whale. Link into Linkaribo. Poplar, Freescale, Ash, and then my turn, get back Masquerena. Okay. And man, this is I appreciate the creativity adding the Scythe to hand, but what are you doing with the Scythe on this board? Huh? You got 5 monster zones filled. Okay, so what happens when this Masquerena gets Forbidden Droplet? Okay, what happens now? Now what's your Edgem Scythe doing? This is the man, very typical Snake Eyes overcooking the board a little bit. But let's see what they do, because our hand's not very good. double Obsidian plus Meek, and now I have to call by the Ash too, because now I can't call by the Princess, which means yeah, there's gonna be a lot of bodies to go over. Can we still kill them? Well, what do you think the answer is to that? So yeah, pop that, get Calarium, get another Meek, and then Princess will pop the Meek. As dumb as this looks, as dumb as that play looks, because all I do is get another Meek, it actually does accomplish something, because now I'm out of Meeks, and my Meek can't summon another Meek. So it's actually kind of annoying. They basically did get decent value off the Princess, even though it looked stupid, and it's still not the right play, because now essentially they just cut themselves off of Nib. I don't have to worry about Nib the rest of the line now, because they summoned the Princess. But it was annoying that the pop on the Meek actually did something. So now I have to go into the 1-card combo line. Into Trisuka into Meek. And then Armor Tar. And you might be thinking, can the 1-card combo from Mannadium OTK through 5 monsters on board like this? I mean, let me tell you, that's not even a question of if you can. Just watch, okay? So we're gonna add Rykard. Visas, pop Lightheart bring back. So that was a misplay. I've searched Mannadium matchings because there's literally nothing else worth searching. But I really should have just used it before I summoned Visa Starfrost. I kind of blanked there. I kind of just tunneled onto the combo. But yeah, I should have drawn 2 cards first and then summoned the Visa Starfrost. But this just shows you we don't even need to draw 2 off of this to do this. Okay, so here comes the Lightheart again. Relink into another Rykphobia for follow-up, because this game's definitely going to last another turn. Then summon Rykard into Changing. I don't have to worry about the Neighbor Beers, so I'm not making a Baron right now. Going to Cross Sheep after rivaling back the Visa. Special Ashloud. Going to Chainlink 3 here. Changing is going to banish the Ambler Whale, banish the Poplar Engrave, and then Cross Sheep is going to bring back the Meek, and then Vicious Ashloud is going to pop the Flamberge, and that's going to trigger the Field Spell to get the Ash. So they just replaced another monster. So that's basically they had 7 chunk blockers for their on their field. Going to Nightmare Unicorn, pitch the Imagines because I forgot to use it. Send that Link Revo back. We don't have to deal with that. And then bring back a rival. Bring back Rykard. We'll Access Kotaker for 5300. Pop 1. Enter battle phase. Attack. Attack. And attack. Yeah, I don't care how many monsters you have on board. If you get comboed, you're still dead regardless. Well, yeah, that's would have been cool to see what they were gonna do with that Edgem Scythe that they searched, but unfortunately, Reefing Princess does have a downside to it. It is not the absolute most broken card in the game. So, with this hand, you're going to notice a couple things. First off, we drew Red Reboot, and a recurring theme in this video is going to be drawing Red Reboot versus the non-back row decks. And, this replay is, well, I wouldn't call what our opponent's playing a back row deck per se. But, more notably, what do we do with this hand? Okay? The answer is normal summon Maxi, pop for Visa Starfrost. Now, if we didn't have this, if it was just Visa Starfrost that we summoned, this combo wouldn't really lead anywhere. It would be honestly just be worth keeping the Maxi over it. But because we drew the extra copy of Skull Arrival, that's one extra body that we can actually use to do somewhat of a combo with this. So the first Arrival that we searched off Rykard is going to go into Baron. Then we're going to use the second Arrival to bring back the Visa Starfrost, and then Visas plus Lightheart. Well, first of all, we're going to use Baron to pop the Lightheart because we didn't use Lightheart Revival effect yet. So that brings us back, and then we get the Reeling, get to add a Rykphobia for free as follow-up, and then we Reeling these two off into Cross Sheep, and then we make an Ashloud banishing Visas and Rykard, and then Cross Sheep is going to bring back Maxi. Hell yeah, baby. Maxi, best Mannadium starter 2024. Going to Appaloosa and Maxi plus Visa Starfrost, you end on Baron plus Appaloosa plus follow-up, which absolute weakest Mannadium end board you could ever possibly make, but at least it is somewhat of an end board. And our opponent's playing Unchained, so actually Appaloosa just cooks them. So here, Appaloosa is gonna block, gonna negate the Shavara, so the no effect for you. Activate tactics. We're gonna negate the tactics, and yeah, they're gonna activate thrust because they're a Boardbreaker deck, and they add an Unchained trap. And now they're gonna use Abomination Prison to add a Ruha, and then attempt to use the Ruha, which we're gonna negate again. And now that they think they're clever, okay, they're clever. They're gonna normal summon the Aruha, enter battle phase. No damage step droplet. This is the most most of the time when I use droplet turn 1, I use it as a way to just protect Appaloosa from battle and just jump scare people. So then they end up doing stuff like this, like killing their own monster. And then even if they have a floating effect, the Appaloosa again. This is 3 negations off Appaloosa. You never seen Appaloosa get off all 3 negates before, without like the Link Reborn or something backing it up like you do in Snake Eyes. Now, unfortunately, we don't. Our opponent uses an Abomination Chamber and I don't even know if like this is exactly that great, because I'm pretty sure they already had the other traps set anyways. So yeah, we at minimum we don't have to deal with escaped. So at least we can say Red Reboot did something. It wasn't a completely dead card in this matchup. So cool. And now we're gonna use Reichphobia to add another Visa Starfrost, and then Visas. We're gonna pop the bow. We're gonna pop the Appaloosa, and then we're gonna chain Shavara, and I'm gonna chain Max Lee to the Shavara. Now, unfortunately, Red Reboot, it prevents them from activating traps in the field. It does not prevent them from activating traps that are popped and then sent to the grave. So yeah, they're still gonna get value out of the chamber into Unchained Soul, and then it's gonna pop the Visa Starfrost, and Shavara is gonna set another trap. And here I'm gonna tactics and draw 2. Gamba. Have not normal summoned yet. We draw into Rykard. Now, fun fact, okay? Yeah, we have both Visa Starfrost out, so that this Pearl Rhino actually literally does nothing. I can't even use it to bait a hypothetical Ash because it wouldn't give enough prompts. So yeah, we're gonna have to normal summon Rykard and then banish Rykard from the field to make a vicious Astral out. Just A1 place here, optimal place here. Pop the Unchained Soul and then Baronne pop the other one. And then, yes, we popped 2 Unchained monsters with this deck to go for game. Well, what a cursed replay. Red Reboot versus Unchained into just pop both their monsters. And here, we have another game where we got Red Reboot. Now, guess what we're playing against? That's right. Hit the mirror. Only draw Red Reboot versus combo decks, baby. That's how we do it. So anyway, you're probably wondering why I'm not maxing it right now. That's because my hand is trash. If I max C on the normal summon and they passed, I would lose because I would have I would have an unplayable hand and I would have to pass back, and then my opponent would kill me on the next turn. So I have to hold this max C, chain it to something to hopefully I get a draw, because I can't. Literally, I can't beat, like, pass on the Maxi. So they finally used Visa Starfrost. Now I changed the Maxi to Visa Starfrost. Thankfully, it resolves. And they do get the Rhyme Heart, so I only get 1 draw, but 1 draw is better than no draws. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, here comes the Starfrost, here comes the Rhyme Heart, and I get this Tryhard, and finally my hand is playable. So thank God, you know, if I knew I was going to draw Rykard on the top, it was probably better to Maxi on normal summon, but I didn't know my top deck was going to be playable, so, you know, you can't really take the risk with that. And yeah, our opponent goes Baron to 4, and I believe they added reframing off the Pepe Lab. They didn't know they added reframing into a Red Reboot in hand. And now my opponent's kind of cooked, because no matter what negate they use, either Baron or reframing, I have to counter to it, because I either have the tactics punish on the Baron, or I have the Red Reboot punish on the reframe. So either way, our opponent's kind of screwed here. So yeah, I'm gonna Reichphobia, add Rykard, see if they do anything, and no, they let it go. And then they're gonna reframing the Rykard, which was probably the worst move they could do. Which, I mean, it's fair. It is absolutely correct to reframing the Rykard, because then you're not playing Talents, which is 100 times more common than Red Reboot. We just happen to draw the Red Reboot, so Our opponent just kind of lost on the spot here, because now they can't negate the right card, so I get the body on the field and I get the arrival, so we can just... This one Baron is literally not going to do anything. I just special summon the other right card just to get another body on the field, and then Lightheart effect, search another right Pokemon, they don't do anything, which is smart. Then I use Visas on the Lightheart, they're going to negate here, and this is where they get taken out by Tactics. Well, first I'm going to revive Visa Starfrost, see if they have a Nibiru, if they prompt a Nibiru, because I threaten Baron right now. If they didn't Nibiru, that means it's... I get to pop their thing, and then I was going to Tactics look at their hand anyways, because whether they Nibiru or not, they were dead, we get the Nibiru token. Whoop-de-doo, then you Tactics, take the Nibiru, and make Cross Sheep, then do Astral out into the Cross Sheep zone, and they were dead either way, but the fact that they didn't have Nibiru means they were ultra dead, because now we have a Baron negate, and I was going to Tactics take their Baron, and so on, so yeah, it's... Who'd have thought? Red Reboot, best card to draw against Mannadium. So, as you can see, we drew Red Reboot again, and that means, of course, our opponent's not playing Lab, because you're never allowed to draw Red Reboot when you play against Lab. But fortunately, our opponent is on Mathmech, so this is one of the decks that Red Reboot is actually good against, and one of the decks that I actually put in Red Reboot for. So, yeah, you draw Red Reboot versus Mathmech, they're cooked, because their Terahertz interruptions, they don't matter at all. And the only thing you care about is the Super Factorial, and if you nullify the Super Factorial, it's over. Also, what the hell is my opponent's line? They didn't start with Sigma, but they ended up banishing the Sigma anyways, and then they get the Link Decoder back, and and then they're gonna Equation, so they had two extra extenders in their play, and this is their... Bro, what? Come on, man! Like, you couldn't even you like the target protection of Transcotaker over 2 Heat Soul draws? 2 Heat Soul draws? Oh, come on, man! Come on! You could have at least drawn 1 card. Whatever. I'm not questioning them. So I'm gonna activate reroll to summon Rykard. See if I can bait out like an Imperm, or not Imperm, like a Baylor or something, so I can chain the Rhyhorn to it. I don't know. And they let that go, and on resolution they're gonna Super Factorial. It's gonna be a no from me, dog. And now this is over. So yeah, they're gonna get the trap card. They're not gonna be able to set this turn. I'm gonna Rhyhorn pop the Rykard, and then they're gonna Terahertz send the Aggregator to negate my Rhyhorn, which I don't care. I really don't care. You go ahead, negate my Rhyhorn. I already have the Meek in hand, so we're gonna Meek into Trasupta, into get back the Meek. This is just a standard 1-card combo. On Retara, add Obsidian, link it off into Lightheart, activate Lightheart, activate Reichphobia, and here's where the save worm interacts very poorly. So in order to stop me from getting the search off Reichphobia, they have to save worm the activation of Reichphobia. Unfortunately for them, Reichphobia is you can only activate once per turn, not that you can only use once per turn. So keep that in the back of your mind. We're gonna Obsidian away the Lightheart now to get into the Calarium, and then Calarium will add Visa Starfrost, and then Obsidian will summon the Visa Starfrost. This is all standard 1-card combo stuff. Bring back the Lightheart, rebling the Lightheart, add back Reichphobia, activate Reichphobia. Yeah, awesome. Nice to save worm, bro. Anyway, this game is over now. We have Baron plus we have 2 bodies, which is Cross Sheep, so this is more than game. They have targeting protection. They think they're safe from targeting protection. I have two droplets in hand that out this. I'm not gonna use either droplet. I don't need a droplet to out this because we're gonna Cross Sheep the Astral. I'm not gonna pop anything with Astral out because they can't target it. But we're gonna summon Meek back Meek, and then Baron. I'm gonna pop the Meek off the Baron, and then Meek is gonna summon from deck. Make it a level 4. That way I can go into Crimson Dragon target the Baron, go into Dispater, bring back the Visa Starfrost. Link these 2 off into Unicorn. Not use the Unicorn's effect because once again I can't target. But now that Visa Starfrost is back, I can summon yet another Astral out. don't pop it, go into the access code, and now I can finally pop their board. So yeah. Boom. Boom. Attack directly. By the way, you get this off of one card. This is the end result of a one card combo, because they negated my Reinhardt. So I essentially just did the standard one card combo. You can end on Baronne, Dissipator, an access code for 5300 with 2 pops. And oh yeah, along the way you have 2 Astral pops plus a unicorn spin. So you can literally spin 4 monsters away from their field before attacking directly for over 11,000. Yeah. Standard Mannadium stuff. We didn't even draw Visa Samsara. We didn't even draw any other extenders. I had 2 written drops in hand that I didn't even decide to use. I didn't even fucking need them. So here, this is kind of a full combo. This is the interesting line. I don't know if I did this exactly correctly, but Meek plus Obsession. This isn't a line you end up doing very often, like turn 1 normal summon Meek, but this is something you can do, and they're gonna max me. I'm gonna cross out it because I don't run any other cross out targets either way. There's a debate where I could Call by the Grave the max E. That way, at the end of my combo, my Dissipator can also negate a monster effect, but that's usually not needed because you have an Appaloosa already to negate 3 monster effects, so you generally don't need the Dissipator as another monster negate. But yeah, I'll just keep the Call by Grave as an interruption, get the Meek from deck. Tactics, see their hand, and ooh, that's a nice thrust you got. That's a nice thrust. Anyways, so this combo, I'm gonna add Beast to Starfrost. Let me know if there's actually a better line for a Obsession Meek. I kind of just did this on the fly. I haven't really practiced this combo yet, but yeah, we're gonna Beast to Starfrost, pop the Meek, and then I'm gonna trigger the Kalaria because I'm gonna need to activate Reichphobia immediately to get a level 4 like Reichardt. So I'm gonna trigger the Kalarium immediately. That way I can get it off the field after triggering its effect already, so I don't like waste it. So here's the Reichphobia, and I'll play the Reichphobia over the Kalarium to get the Reichardt. And here we have 3 Defense Vision monsters now, so I actually get to draw a card off the Reichardt, draw into Samsara, which is really nice, as I initially thought. So we're gonna Revival, bring back the Baronne, and then link the level 2 Meek off into a Cross Sheep, and then go into Astral. I don't know if there's a way to get the second Reichphobia. Like, maybe I should have popped with Baronne, but if I pop with Baronne, then I don't have the materials to make the Cross Sheep. It's kind of weird. So I don't end up searching the second Reichphobia as a follow up. If there's a way, let me know in this combo. And yeah, the level 4 Meek on the field plus the Astral out, it goes into Crimson Dragon, which you go to Dissipator, and then Dissipator, bring back the Starfrost, synchro these 2 into Amritara. I haven't used Amritara yet. Amritara will add reframing a counter trap, and then I'll bring back the Lightheart. And here I've messed up a little, so I don't actually know how to make use of Visa Samsara in this combo. We don't have SP, so I don't actually think you can actually use this to extend into anything real. There's no other level 12 synchro that you would run, because you can only really make a level 12 synchro with this board. But yeah, I shovel back the Visa Starfrost, and then fun fact, did you know that Visa Samsara and Visa Amritara both count as Visa Starfrost in the field? So because of that, I couldn't actually make a 4 material Appaloosa. That was my entire intention of summoning the Amritara in the first place, was to make a 4 material Appaloosa. But then I realized, oh wait, this is the same fucking monster. Or these 2 monsters have the same fucking name. So this Amritara is just on the field chilling for nothing, and I used the Samsara for my hand for no reason. For BN. I mean, this is enough anyway. Our opponent has 4 cards in hand versus like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 3 monster negates, Omni, Destruction, Call by the Grave. Yeah, they're not gonna win anyways, but I just played that kind of poorly at the end. And speaking of playing poorly, activate Ohime. I used Dissipator to pop it. And okay, so I pop it, and then I was unaware that they still got the search off the Ohime after it got destroyed, because it is add a Mikanko first. So in fact, I should have just Appaloosa negated that, and this whole turn would have been over. But yeah, it doesn't really matter because I still have 2 Omni negates, and I know, like, one card left in their hand, and like it's they can't really break this board anyway. Anyway, there's no way to OTK me, so it's fine. Yeah, even like a hand like where you normal summon Meek, if you have a precision with it, that's basically 99% of a full combo. All I'm missing was the Changing as the last interruption, really, which it's fine. How many times did I really need the Changing banish to actually, you know, win the game? Not very many. Right here, we have a replay against our opponent named Snake Eyes. Set 3. I have a sneaking suspicion that they might not be playing Snake Eyes, and our opponent is in fact a liar. How could they? Capital D colon. So we draw double tactics, just always what you want to see, double tactics. We get normal summon Reinhardt, and I'm just gonna activate Reichphobia to add Visa Starfrost, and then I'm gonna use the match things to see if I can draw into anything off of it. And we draw, man, oh baby, a triple tactics Talon. Amount of times I've Talons drawn Talons, incredible. So I draw Ash Blossom in case it might be Lab. You know, this is actually a good draw. Unfortunately, our opponent activates the Dimension Ground, so I can't interact with that. But joke's on them. Meek triggers when it's banished, so I'm gonna get a level 4 Meek from the deck. Then I'm gonna make a Baron the floor under the mission under Shifter, pop their back row. They're gonna negate this, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna negate your Imperm so that I just pop both back rows right there, and yeah, boom, they're gone. Next, gonna use Samsara, put back the Visa Starfrost, and then we're gonna make Visa's Omnitara. I was just gonna search. Our opponent's cooked. They're down to 3 cards with no engine apparently. But all I was gonna do, was search the counter trap because they didn't have a play turn 1, so you could probably just one Omni negate is gonna stop them, and then next turn they're gonna die. I could also link it off into Lightheart, get Reichphobia, but I already used Reichphobia this turn, so that doesn't really do much for me. But you know, Baron Omnitara counter trap, which is like 2 interruptions, plus I drew 2 cards off the matchings under a Shifter. You know, most combo decks wish they could get that far. So this deck has actually performed really well playing into back row decks, specifically like Labrynth. And so specifically if they don't have a floodgate. Though Labrynth, if they don't have a floodgate, you can actually play through normal traps quite decently that are not dimensional barrier calling synchros. But you know, we don't talk about that. So here they have 3 back row, right? And I'm gonna Herb a Rhino for Visa Star. You see, this hand is not fantastic. This hand has 2 Meeks, Reichphobia, which we would just search for free anyways, and an Arrival, which again we also search for free, and like no level 4 normal summon. So it's like 3 cards that we generally don't want to draw in our hand, plus a Visa Starfire, which doesn't do anything by itself. So we're gonna normalize right card, and it's gonna add Arrival, and I'm gonna special Meek, and here's where they do stuff. Okay, so let's see how they interact with these 2 monsters on the board. They get their Lovely Lady, and they get all this. I'm just gonna speed up the chains. There's a lot of Labyrinth playing on my turn going on here right now. Here comes the Lovely Lady, and here comes the Dogmatic Punishment, and they get the set off lady. So here, they're going to pop my Rykart, and then Lovely Labyrinth, and then Intest. They're gonna pop my Reichphobia, and they're gonna leave the Meek because the Meek, they know the Meek just summons another one, so they're just gonna hand leave for 1. Okay, that's basically 2 of their interruptions. They used their Dogmatic Punishment, and they used their Lovely Pop, and we still have a monster on board after that, plus there's an Arrival in hand to revive the Reichphobia. So that literally did nothing. Like, that quite honestly almost did nothing. This board state is the exact same as it was before. And their final interruption is Trap Trick for Destructive Karma Cannon, the Ruma Karma Cannon, and that's going to set everything face down. And now they're probably thinking, okay, now you use your extender, use your normal summon. What else can you do now? Okay, well, I can Obsidian the Meek, get Calarium, special the Meek from the deck, activate Calarium, get Reinhardt, use Obsidian to summon the Reinhardt, and go full combo, and they're dead. Man. I'm pretty sure I don't think they were on Dimensional Barrier, because if they're on DBR, you 100% call Synchros right there, but because they are only on Karma Cannon, and they already used Karma Cannon plus Dogmatic Punishment, which were their 2 strongest traps in the deck, plus a Lovely, Labrynth pop off the big welcome, and they still like we just literally just bounced off like our board. Like that almost didn't affect us at all. Right, so this game, this hand. What do you do with this hand? That's right, you normal summon Maxi, you pop it off for Obsidian. Maxi, #1 Mannadium starter in this video. So we're gonna add Calarium, add Reinhardt, and I'm gonna imagine to draw 2 with the Reinhardt first before to see if I can draw into a Meek or not, to see if I need to search Meek. So now I'm gonna Obsidian and we get Maxi. So this is why this sucks, because I can't summon Reinhardt to add Meek because I have a tuner engrave now, and because I have a tuner engrave, Reinhardt will gain attack from Calarium, then I can't special Meek. So obviously we're gonna negate the Maxi with Ashe because we have to, but because I have to negate it with Ashe, now I can't do that combo. So we're actually have to summon Visa Starfrost from our hand with the Obsidian first, and do a different line. So Visa Starfrost is going to Lightheart, and then Lightheart is supposed to add the Reichphobia, which, you know, it doesn't, because our opponent also has a Infirm Maxi. That's tough. So because we normal summon the Maxi, we have to pass on nothing, and they're gonna end phase summon Lady Labrynth. Okay, so Labrynth, you know, this deck claps Labrynth, and largely is also because even if you go first and you summon like a hand trap and stop, they can't kill you. So you always have a turn 3 against Labrynth, and you know, if you play into Labrynth cards, this deck, you know, this deck trades very favorably with back row. So now I'm going to normal summon the Reinhardt, and they're going to welcome Labrynth, which at this point I'll just chain the Maxi. And I know that they can activate the other trap, so I'm still going to have to deal with an additional back row if they play it right. So Lady Labrynth is going to set, they're going to set Ghastly Glitch since they're on the Resonator stuff, so I guess that combos better with their Resonator engine, and then they're going to Lovely Labrynth, and then Maxi. They're gonna summon Ariana, and Reinhardt I'm gonna add a Meek, and then with the Ariana, of course, they're gonna add the Crew Clock, and all these Labrynth chains get back to 4B. Lovely pop my monster so that I can't summon Meek, which is a smart move, and then I'm gonna activate Tactics to draw 2, and they're gonna chain Crew Clock at this point. So now that their Ghastly Glitch is live, and now I'm going to special Samsara by banishing Visa Starfrost. Okay, so here they're going to Ghastly Glitch. Because they went for Ghastly Glitch, this lost in the game. Because Calarium has this text here. Okay, if a face-up tuner you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one of those monsters and special summon it. It's that. Okay, so normally people think this only works with me, because that's the only thing you end up popping. But fun fact, Visa Samsara is in fact a tuner. So because you use Ghastly Glitch to pop my Visa Samsara, I get to Calarium back my Visa Samsara. And now that's all of your interruption gone. Your Lovely pop, your Ghastly Glitch, your big welcome, all that shit. No, that's all gone now. Now we have full combo now, because I control that. I can special summon Meek and, you know, get back the Lightheart, add Reichphobia, and you're dead. So thank you. Thank you for playing, Labrynth. Maybe next time. So yeah, Super Heavy Samurai keeps getting hit every ban list. Meanwhile, Mannadium gets untouched every ban list. So you still want to play a combo deck, but you don't have to worry about getting banned into the sun. You know, this here is right for you. It's even budgeted now, bro. You have 2 Samsara. These are super rares. The deck, 2 super rares out of the every other 40 ultra rares in the deck. You know, this deck is cheap now and affordable, right? But yeah, anyways, SP Little Knight, when that comes probably next month or so, yeah, that's gonna be also another buff to this deck, as it is to every other deck. But you know, this SP Little Knight, you can use SP Little Knight to actually recycle your Vicious Astrolabs. So you instead of your Terminal Endboards ending on Appaloosa, actually you might want to end on SP Little Knight instead, because SP will then banish your Astrolabe from grave, and then you can put the Astrolabe back with the Dissipator as an interruption too. So then you have another Astrolabe for follow-up turns too. So yeah, it's really I know SP Little Knights might be a little annoying to deal with, but you know, as long as you're the one using it, you know, And yeah, if you want to see more Mannadium gameplay and a couple combo tutorials, go check out the other video I did on Mannadium.